Symmetry holds profound importance in Islam, permeating its spiritual theology, sacred architecture, artistic expression, and even its legal and social principles. It is not merely an aesthetic preference but a reflection of the divine order and the inherent balance, mizan, in all of creation. Here is a breakdown of its importance across different domains. 1. Theological and cosmological significance, reflecting divine oneness, tawhid, and balance. At its core, symmetry in Islam is a visual and conceptual manifestation of key theological concepts. Tawhid, the oneness of God. The fundamental principle of Islam is the absolute oneness and unity of God. Symmetry, particularly radial symmetry, patterns emanating from a central point, serves as a powerful metaphor for this. All elements in a complex geometric pattern originate from a single, central point and are interdependent, symbolizing how all creation emanates from and returns to the one God. Al-Mizan, the balance. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes that God created the universe in perfect balance and measure. And the heaven he raised and imposed the balance. Quran 55:7. Indeed, we have created everything in perfect measure and proportion. Quran 54:49. Symmetry is the visual representation of this cosmic balance. It signifies harmony, order, and the absence of chaos, reflecting the perfection of the divine creator. 2. Islamic art and architecture, a portal to the transcendent. Because of the prohibition of idolatry and the avoidance of depicting God or the Prophet in religious contexts, Islamic art developed a unique vocabulary of non-representational forms. Symmetry became a primary language. Geometric patterns, intricate, infinitely repeating geometric patterns, gyrotiles, are the most famous examples. Their perfect symmetry symbolizes the infinite, transcendent, and unchanging nature of God. They are not just decoration, they are a form of visual theology, inviting contemplation of the underlying order of the universe. Arabesque, floral and vegetal patterns. These are symmetrically interlacing vines, leaves, and flowers. Unlike realistic nature, they are stylized and perfectly balanced, representing the ideal and spiritual reality behind the natural world. They symbolize the paradise gardens described in the Quran, which are themselves laid out with perfect symmetry and order. Architectural harmony. Mosques are masterclasses in symmetry. Key features are almost always symmetrical. The Qibla wall, direction of prayer, is the central axis. Minarets often flank the main building. Domes represent the dome of heaven, perfectly centered over the prayer hall. Iwans, vaulted halls, are symmetrically arranged around a central courtyard, as in mosques of Isfahan. This architectural symmetry creates a sense of peace, order, and focus, directing the worshipper's mind and heart toward the divine. 3. Spiritual and social dimensions. Spiritual equilibrium. In Islamic spirituality, a believer is encouraged to maintain balance in their life, between the material and the spiritual, between fear and hope, between individual and community. This internal symmetry is seen as a path to righteousness and peace. Justice, adl. The concept of justice in Islam is fundamentally about balance and fairness. A just society is a balanced society, where rights and duties are symmetrically observed. The scales of justice are themselves a universal symbol of symmetry. 4. A deeper reason, aniconism and the focus on the unseen. The avoidance of figural representation in religious spaces is not a rejection of beauty but a redirecting of focus. By using abstract, symmetrical patterns, Islamic art avoids the worship of creation and instead points the viewer toward the attributes of the Creator, His order, His balance, His unity, and His infinite nature. It is an art that speaks of God without depicting Him. To summarize, domain manifestation of symmetry significance. Theology. Concept of tawhid, oneness, and mizan, balance, reflects the unity of God and the perfect, ordered balance of all creation. Art. Geometric patterns and arabesque. Serves as a non-representational language to depict the infinite, transcendent, and spiritual realm. Architecture. Layout of mosques, domes, minarets, courtyards. Creates a harmonious, peaceful environment conducive to worship and contemplation of the divine. Spirituality, society. Personal equilibrium and social justice, adl. Encourages a balanced life and a just, fair society. In essence, symmetry in Islam is far more than a decorative principle. It is a visual and philosophical bridge between the visible world and the unseen divine reality, constantly reminding the believer of the perfect order, unity, and balance that underpins all of existence.